Okay, today we're learning about parallel and perpendicular. Lines. Okay, so parallel lines would look like that. They never cross. They run at the same angle. And perpendicular, this would be perpendicular. And they actually meet exactly at a 90-degree angle. Okay, so I'm going to talk about what we know. These two lines have the exact same slope, and perpendicular lines have what we call a negative reciprocal. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. So if a slope of 2/3, I'm going to just start from the middle. I'm going to go up to right 3. Okay, so that's a line. So up to right 3. So if I negate this and I reciprocate it, means I'm going to reciprocate the parts of the fraction switch, and then now it's negative. So from this starting point, now I'm going to go down 3, right 2. Okay, can you see how that works? Does that look like it would be a 90-degree angle minus my bad drawings? Okay, so negative reciprocal. Switch the parts of the fraction, and if it's negative, make it positive. If it's positive, make it negative. Okay, so I'm going to give you some lines. That's a line. And then parallel slope, perpendicular. Let's make a little chart here. Okay, so what's the slope of this line? 5, 6. So a parallel line will have 5, 6 as a slope, and a perpendicular would be negative 6 over 5. Okay, so y equals 4x minus 2. This slope is 4, so your parallel line will have a slope of 4. Okay, it's important when you do the perpendicular that you really understand that that's 4 over 1. So when I do the reciprocating, I make it 1 over 4 and then negate it. Okay, so here is my next line. Okay, so do you remember the formula for slope? Negative a over b. So that would be negative 3 over 8. So our parallel line would have negative 3 over 8 as well. And a perpendicular would be, so flip the fraction, and this was negative, so now that's positive. And the last line here, so negative a over b is negative 4 over negative 7. So that is really 2 negatives, so that's a positive number. And then a reciprocal and negative. Okay, so now we're going to make equations, and I'm going to give you more information, and you have to figure out what the equation is. So line A has a slope of 4/5. Line B is parallel to A, and it has a y-intercept of 7. So find the equation of line B. Okay, so what do we know? It's parallel to A. So what's your conclusion about the slope? The slope would also be 4/5, and it has a y-intercept of 7, so I can write mx plus b. Okay, another example, line A. It has a y-intercept of 3, and line B, sorry, same line, we'll just do the same line. So it has a y-intercept of 3, and I also know that it's parallel to this other line. Okay, so it says it's parallel to this line, so its slope is also the same. So 7/5 x, it's the same, and now it has a y-intercept of 3. Okay, our line has a y-intercept of 5, and we also know it's perpendicular to this line. Okay, so what is our line going to be? So we're perpendicular to this one, so negative and reciprocate, and plus 5 is our y-intercept. Okay, our line has a point, -4,7. It's parallel to this line. Okay, so what are we going to do? First thing, I need to find the slope. So -a over b is the slope of this line. If we are parallel to that, ours should also be the same. So that's the rise and that's the run. So now how am I going to make an equation if I'm giving the slope and a point? I'm going to use point slope form. So rise, run. So I'm going to fill that in, rise and run. Always leave my x and a y, and then I fill in the point. So if this is -4, I would, subtracting a -4 adds 4, and subtract 7. Okay, our line has a point 4, -9. It's perpendicular to this line. So what does our line have for a slope? So negative reciprocal because it's perpendicular. Okay, and we're given a point, so I'm going to use the same point slope form. So that's my rise and my run. Rise, run, x, y, minus the point coordinates, -4, and when I minus a -9, I add 9. Okay, don't be tricked if I ever ask this in general form. Don't forget, all you would have to do is expand that out. Okay, we have a point and we know it's perpendicular to this line. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the slope of this. So that's the slope of that one. So our slope would be -7/5. So this is our rise and our run, and we have that point. Okay, so I'm going to rise, run, fill that in, x plus 3, y plus 9. Okay, and if I ask for this in general form, let's do that. We just expand that out. I'm going to move it so that my x is positive. So 7x, 5y, and then we just have to collect 45 and 21. We'd have to add 21. So that would be in general form.